Fidelity ran a study. They wanted to find their best performing accounts over a decade. The investors who crushed the market. The ones beating hedge fund managers, financial advisors, spreadsheet guys, all of it. They pulled the data, and here's what they found. The best accounts belonged to people who had died, and people who had completely forgotten the accounts existed. The people who tried the hardest lost. The people who did nothing won. I'm Kyle Smith, and in the next 16 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why the most dangerous thing you can do with your money is try to manage it. Stay with me, because habit 6. On this list, your accountant probably doesn't even know it exists yet. We're covering 10 lazy money habits today. Not lazy like irresponsible. Lazy like set it once, forget it forever. Retire rich. I built this list from real data. Vanguard, Fidelity, the IRS tax code, Congress, all of it. And I'm going to show you the math on every single one. Let me introduce you to someone. Her name is Sarah. She's 32. Makes $78,000 a year. Last Tuesday at 11 p.m., she Googled how to build wealth. Closed the tab, feeling worse than when she opened it. By the end of this video, Sarah is going to be a millionaire, and she's going to do it by working less on her money, not more. Let's go, all right? Habit 1. There is a toggle hiding in your 401k right now. 3 menus deep. Nobody told you it was there. It is worth, and I want you to hear this clearly, $700,000. It's called auto-escalation. Here's how it works. You click it once. Every January, your contribution bumps up by 1%. You never make another decision about it again. Done. Here's the math, and this is where it gets insane. A 32-year-old earning $70,000 contributes 4% to her 401k, never touches it. Retires with $36,000. The same person, same job, same salary. She just flips the auto-escalate switch. Retires with $1,050,000. That is a $700,000 swing. For one click. Sarah turned this on at 32. Started at 4%. By 43, she was at 15%. She never made a single conscious decision to save more. The toggle did it. You won't feel the 1% bump. It comes out before your paycheck hits. You'd never know it was missing. But in 30 years, your retirement account knows. Vanguard's data says only a fraction of workers ever turn this on, because nobody told them. The default is set to broke, and you're going to change your defaults today. Habit 2 is one most people are using completely wrong, and it's quietly costing them hundreds of thousands. You've heard of an HSA, a health savings account. You probably think it's just for co-pays, prescription pickups, maybe glasses. Here's the thing nobody told you. The HSA is actually the most powerful retirement account in America. It's the only account that's tax deductible, going in tax-free growth, tax-free coming out. There is literally nothing else like it in the U.S. tax code. Here's how Sarah's coworker Mike handles his HSA. Mike spends his HSA balance every year. Co-pays, prescriptions, glasses. Sarah does something different. She maxes her HSA every year. $4,400 single, $8,750 family. She invests all of it in index funds, which every major HSA provider lets you do, and she pays her medical bills out of pocket. Then she takes every single receipt and she saves it. Google Drive folder. That's it. Why? Because here is a thing the IRS will never tell you. There is no statute of limitations on HSA reimbursement. Let me say that again. Slowly, you can pay for a $4,000 surgery today. Save the receipt. Let the money in your HSA grow for 30 years. And then reimburse yourself in 2055. The IRS cannot stop you. It's completely legal. It's in the code. Sarah and Mike are both 62 now. Mike's HSA, $4,000. Sarah's HSA, $890,000. All of it tax-free. The Employee Benefit Research Institute says only 15% of HSA holders invest the balance. The other 85% are Mike, sitting on the most powerful account ever created, using it like a debit card. Don't be Mike. Habit 3 sounds almost insulting. Stay with me, because it beats almost everyone. Here's the strategy. Buy one fund. Set up automatic contributions. Do not log in again for 30 years. That's it. I know, you feel like I just told you the recipe for water. But here's the data that should genuinely scare you. In 2024, one of the best years in stock market history, the S&P 500 returned 25%. The average equity fund investor, 16.5%. They underperformed the index they were literally invested in by 8.5 percentage points. In 1 year. How? They panicked. They sold during dips. They jumped in late. They chased fads. They switched funds. They tinkered. The market did all the work. Humans got in the way. Over 20 years, the average investor underperforms the S&P by 1.1% annually. Doesn't sound like much. Compounded over a career, it's the difference between $1 million and $1.2 million. 22% of your retirement. Gone. Because you couldn't stop touching the thing. Sarah's strategy. One fund. Set up at 32. She told me she sometimes can't even remember her password. The lazy portfolio isn't a compromise. It is the mathematically optimal strategy for 99% of human beings, because it removes the only variable that consistently destroys returns. You. Habit 4 is something your financial advisor charges you 1% per year to do. You can set it up in an afternoon, for free, forever. You've heard of asset allocation, stocks, bonds, real estate. What you own. There's a cousin almost nobody talks about. Asset location, same assets. Different drawer. Here's the rule, and write this down if you write anything. Tax inefficient assets. Bonds, REITs, anything throwing off dividends or interest go inside your 401k or traditional IRA. Sheltered from taxes, tax-efficient assets, broad index funds, ETFs that barely pay dividends, go in your Roth IRA to grow tax-free forever. Same money, same funds, different drawer, wildly different tax bill. Real example, that high-yield bond fund in your taxable account, paying 5% interest. You're handing the IRS 22% of that yield every April. Same fund, inside your 401k, 0. Same dollars, same fund, different drawer. Vanguard ran the numbers on a $1 million portfolio over 30 years. Optimal asset location saves you $74,000 in taxes. Your financial advisor charges 1% a year to do this for you. That's $10,000 a year on a $1 million portfolio. You spend one afternoon setting this up. Then you're done. Forever. Habit 5 exposes a scam that your bank is running on you right now. And I mean that literally. Right now, you probably have an emergency fund sitting at Chase or Bank of America. It's been there for years. And it's earning, let me check. Oh, right. 0.01%. The FDIC's national average savings rate is 0.38%. The U.S. government is currently paying 3.7% on a 26-week Treasury bill. Same risk. Zero chance the U.S. government disappears. 10 times the yield. Here's how Sarah handles it. She opened a free account at treasurydirect.gov. Bought a 26-week T-bill. Checked one box. Auto reinvest. Every 6 months the government rolls it. Pays her interest. She does nothing. On $50,000 in emergency cash, the difference between your big bank and a T-bill is $1,650 a year for zero work. And here's the bonus they really don't want you to know. T-bill interest is exempt from state income tax. If you're in California or New York, The math gets even better. You are not saving your money at a big bank. You are tipping a multi-billion-dollar institution for the privilege of holding your cash. Change the default. Okay, we're at the halfway point. And habit 6? This one just became legal in 2024. Your accountant might not know it yet. I'm serious. Look it up after. In December 2022, Congress passed a law called Secure 2.0, buried on page 312. Nobody was talking about it. A provision went live in January 2024 that quietly solved the biggest problem with 529 college savings accounts. Here's the old problem. What if your kid gets a scholarship? Doesn't go to college? You overfund the 529. For decades, the answer was 10% penalty, plus taxes. So parents underfunded 529s out of fear. Now, you can roll up to $35,000 of leftover 529 money directly into your child's Roth IRA. No penalty, no taxes, no income limit. Wait, no income limit? Here's why that matters. Roth IRAs have income limits. If your kid grows up to make $200,000 a year, she is locked out of contributing to a Roth. But this rollover? No income limit. None. You just funded a Roth IRA for a high-earning adult child who otherwise couldn't touch one. Run the numbers. $35,000 dropped into a 22-year-old's Roth IRA. Never another contribution. 7% returns until she's 65. $617,000. Tax-free. Forever. You filled out one form. Now here's the critical detail. The 529 needs to be 15 years old. The contributions need to be 5 years old. So if you have young kids and no 529, opening one today, even with $50, just to start that 15-year clock, might be the highest leverage thing you do in 2025. Habit 7 used to require $1 million to access. You can start today with $5,000. Here's how a normal index fund works. You buy VTY or VOO. You own the entire market in one bundle. Easy, clean, done. Here's how direct indexing works. A platform buys all 500 individual stocks for you. Same exposure, you still own the S&P 500. But now, there's a little robot watching every single position. Whenever any individual stock dips below what you paid, the robot sells it immediately. Buys a similar stock to keep your exposure intact. Banks the loss. That loss offsets capital gains elsewhere in your life. A stock sale, sale of a business, real estate deal, or up to $3,000 of your regular income every year. You do nothing. The robot does everything. Schwab, Fidelity, Wealthfront, Vanguard. They all offer this now. Low fees. You can start with $5,000. 5 years ago, you needed $1 million to access this. Vanguard's research says direct indexing adds 1 to 2 percentage points of after-tax return per year on a $100,000 account, growing at 8% with $20,000 in annual contributions over 30 years. That 1-point edge becomes $350,000 in extra ending wealth. For less effort than buying a regular index fund, because the robot is doing the part you weren't going to do anyway. Habit 8 is the one that lives inside your 401k, and there's a 50-50 chance you have access to it right now. There's a near 100% chance nobody at work told you. I need you to stay focused for this one. This is genuinely the most powerful tax move available to an American worker. It's called the Mega Backdoor Roth. Bear with the name. The strategy is the point. The IRS limits your 401k employee contributions to $24,500 in 2025. Most people stop there. They shouldn't. The actual ceiling on your 401k is $72,000. Your $24,500 plus your employer match, plus a secret third bucket nobody told you about. That bucket can be filled with after-tax contributions. And in plans that allow it, those after-tax dollars get automatically converted into a Roth IRA every single paycheck. On autopilot. That's an extra $30,000 to $47,000 per year of Roth contributions, on top of everything else you're doing. Compared to the normal $7,000 Roth IRA limit, you just multiplied your Roth space by 6. Max this for 20 years at 8% returns. You build $1.8 million in completely tax-free retirement money, never taxed again. Ever. Microsoft, Google, Meta, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, they all offer it. About half of all large 401k plans support this. Most workers at those companies have no idea. Here's what you do Monday morning. Call HR. Ask, does our plan allow after-tax contributions and in-plan Roth conversions? If they say yes, you just unlocked something most of your coworkers will never find. Habit 9 is for the years your income drops. Layoff, sabbatical, having a kid, changing jobs. Those aren't just hard years. They're tax gold mines. If you know this, here's how this works. In any low-income year retirement, sabbatical, layoff, parental leave, gap year, you convert a chunk of your traditional 401k or IRA into a Roth IRA. You pay tax at your temporarily low rate, maybe 12%, maybe 0%. After a 5-year wait, that money is withdrawable, tax-free, penalty-free, at any age. Real example, married couple, 24% bracket, retires at 63 with $2 million in a traditional IRA. They convert $94,000 a year, the top of the 12% bracket for 10 years. They pay 12% on conversions now, instead of 22 to 24% on required minimum distributions later. Lifetime tax savings, $160,000 to $200,000. The form takes 5 minutes at Vanguard or Fidelity, once a year. That's the whole strategy. Most people don't know about this because mainstream financial advice assumes you'll work full-time from 22 to 65 and then retire. Real life doesn't look like that. Layoffs happen. Kids happen. Burnout happens. Every single one of those is a tax-saving opportunity. If you know this move. Habit 10 requires 0 investing knowledge, 0 math, 0 risk. It takes 30 minutes. And it could save your family $130,000. This is the only one on this list you can do tonight. In your pajamas. In about 30 minutes. And most people will never do it. Right now, your accounts probably list a beneficiary you set up a decade ago and haven't looked at since. It might be an ex. It might be a dead grandparent. It might be no one. Here's what nobody tells you about dying without this setup. When you pass, if your assets aren't structured correctly, your family doesn't get the money right away. The court does. The American Bar Association estimates probate takes 16 months on average. It eats 3 to 8% of your estate in legal and court fees. On a $1 million estate, that's $30,000 to $80,000. Going to attorneys. In California, the statutory probate fee on a $1 million estate is $46,000. Here's the fix. Every brokerage account, every bank account, every retirement account. And in 30 states your house too. They can all have a transfer on death or payable on death designation. You log in, add names, log out. 5 minutes per account. When you die, those accounts skip probate entirely. The money goes directly to the people you named. 2-week payout. 0 court fees. 0 attorney fees. Completely private. This is the only item on this list that requires nothing from you except 30 minutes tonight. For the people you love. Do this one. Let's zoom out. The wealthiest people in this country are not the smartest. They're not the most disciplined. They're not even the highest earners. They're the most automated. Every strategy we covered today shares one thing. Once it's set up, it runs without you. No willpower, no spreadsheets, no Sunday night portfolio rebalancing, no financial podcasts, no anxiety. Dalbar. Barber and Odine, Vanguard. They all agree on one thing. The single most expensive thing the average investor does is try. Remember Sarah? She's 62 now. She didn't outsmart anyone. She didn't read more books than you. She didn't have a higher income or a smarter advisor. She just turned on a few toggles in her 30s and went back to her actual life. That's the whole game. Your homework? Pick one thing from this list, not all 10. 1. The easiest one for your situation. Probably auto-escalation or the TOD designations. Set it up tonight. Close the tab. Go watch TV. Go on a walk. Do anything other than check your accounts. The default is set to broke. Change the default. The money will figure itself out. If this video gave you something, subscribe. I drop one of these every week. No fluff. Just the math behind the money decisions almost nobody is doing right. I'll see you in the next one.